Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I take a sketch directly from my sketchbook and colour it in digitally using Photoshop. This technique is really useful when you want to take a sketch and colour it in digitally instead of traditionally. So you want to start out with sketching out your illustration. I'm choosing to use a small sketchbook as I like to include the sketchbook with the illustration in the final piece. I think that sketching out on paper first and using this technique can be a lot easier for beginners in digital art. It can help you learn the software quicker and it helps you gradually develop your skills. When I first started drawing digitally, it took me a while to get used to drawing on a tablet. So you want to scan your sketch into your computer or even take a high quality photo of it and open it up into Photoshop or some kind of other similar program. As I like to keep the sketchbook in the final image, I like to delete the background behind it. I also like to make it into a square to make it more Instagram friendly, so I use the crop tool to expand the size of it. I then create a new layer and fill it in a random colour and put it behind the sketchbook layer. I like to play with the levels a bit to make the drawing stand out more and the paper a brighter white. I tend to find when I scan something, I do lose a bit of the colour, and changing the levels does make a big difference and bring the colour back to the image. I then use the healing brush to fix any blemishes and to clean up the scan and sketch. I didn't like the placement of my character on the page, so I took the scissor tool to cut out my character. I then enlarged it and rotated it round until I was happy with it. I also used the content fill to fill in the gap I have just made with the scissors tool. So you want to duplicate the sketchbook page layer and then you want to change the blending mode of the top layer to multiply. I like to lock both of these sketchbook layers to ensure I don't accidentally draw on them. Then you want to create a new layer in between the two sketchbook layers. When I draw between the layers, you can then see the colour between the layers. So go ahead and colour in your illustration. Just remember to make sure that you are always in between those two layers at all times, otherwise this won't work. I usually start with the block colour and then I select the parts I've coloured and add texture and shadow afterwards. This makes it sure you keep within the lines and it's just a little bit easier to colour in doing this. You don't have to do this, but I do like doing it because it's a lot easier to make the art nice and clean and the lines sharp. So I definitely recommend doing it if you wanted to, but as I said before, you don't have to. You can colour it in however you like, but this is just my way of doing it and I really like doing it like this. For her tights, I coloured in her legs a dark purple and then adjusted the opacity. I then added shading as normal without changing the opacity. This just gives the effect of her tights and you're still able to see the skin colour through her tights. I definitely think this is a lot more effective than just colouring in her tights, her legs just black, and this way you can actually see the skin through them. And I think overall it just gives a better effect and makes them look like real tights instead of leggings or trousers or something. So I then changed the background of the image to this light blue to match the colour of her t-shirt. I wanted to add a shadow behind the sketchbook, so what I did was I duplicated the sketchbook layer and then I blurred the background using filters and adjusted the levels to make it a darker colour. I also moved and shrunk her eye by selecting all the layers and using the scissor tool as I wasn't happy with its placement. I then used the healing brush to fix any gaps. Finished off by adding some white to add some highlight to the image. So here's a sketch before we digitally coloured it, and here it is afterwards. So that's how I take my sketches and digitally colour them in for Instagram. You can find more of my Instagram posts at Pollygone_, and I'd really like it if you could go and check it out. I'd love it if you could give this video a like and comment below what you would want to see next from me, or if you want to see something similar to this in the future. And please remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when my next video is up. Thanks for watching, bye!